Okay, hey, how are we doing out there today? Just want to introduce myself. My name's Tim Tucker. Decided to start a college football podcast, just strictly about college football. Um, not going to be talking about every team per se. Maybe if news stories come up where depending on players, what may come out of the news on a daily basis. But more or less, it's going to be about the top ranked football teams. Like right now, focusing on talking about the top 25 preseason ranked college football teams, FBS schools, that your big, legitimate, big time schools, power conferences, power schools. Um, you know, College football opening weekend is a little less than 7 weeks. Can you believe that? Some might say, the 2026 season might be the best college football season of all time. I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. If you have a team that is going to lose more than 2 games, I'm probably not going to talk about you. In the college football playoffs now, in the first 2 years of the inaugural 12-team playoffs, in 2024, of the 12 teams that made the college football playoffs in 2024, only one team had more than 3 losses. So 11 teams had either 2 losses, 1 loss. But basically, in 2 years, 24 teams have made the college football playoffs. Only 2 teams have more than 3 losses. So what does that say? In order to get in the top 12, the way the system is set up right now, you pretty much can't lose more than 2 games, or you're not going to be in the college football of 12 at this point. And really, there's so much to talk about in college football. We're primarily going to talk about in any given podcast. I'm pretty much going to talk about one of the 12, or maybe multiple, and it could be ebb and flow. I mean, the preseason rank could have a team that's ranked 5th right now, and come October, they're nowhere to be seen. They've already lost 3 games. Now they're ranked 22, or maybe they're out of the top 25. So to me, it's kind of pointless to talk about those teams. I mean, what are we going to really be watching in the end? We're going to be watching basically we're going to be watching the playoffs, the 12. So, and then the end, the bowl games, and it just keeps building. You go from 12 to 8, then the Final Four, then the championship game. So on each podcast, going to try to at least talk about 1 or 2 teams. Going to talk about their rankings. Going to talk about maybe try to go a little bit more deep on details, factual information, like some of the player rankings, coaches. It takes a good coach to have a winner. Let's look at IU before Kirk Cignetti. Let's just not forget, before Kirk Cignetti took over IU, they were the all-time most losing college football team in America. Had the most losses, but they finally find a coach. In 2024, I remember the IU started winning. I'm like, this is a little different. Usually they'd win their first 2 or 3 games, but they were playing nobodies. And then the Big Ten season started, and then here you go. You might win 1 game, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But then you have a guy, Kirk Cignetti, who in 2024 he says, "Hey, just Google me." And why did he want you to Google him? Because what did he say? He said, you can look it up, Google me. I just win. And in 2 years, he goes 16-0 last year to bring home the championship, which just is the most amazing turnaround of a program in maybe of all sports, some would say. Goes 16-0. And in 2024, we'll go back a little bit. 2024, he gets them into the college playoffs. That's absolutely unreal. Then in 2025, he brings it back. And he gets a guy by the name of, last name of Mendoza, quarterback. Everything he touched last year turns to gold. He ends up being the Heisman. He ends up being the #1 overall draft pick. in this past NFL season for the Oakland, I'm sorry, just showing my age here, not Oakland, but the Las Vegas Raiders. And I hope Mendoza can do. Hope he can keep on winning. Great football player, great attitude, and the whole 9 yards. But again, you got to have a great coach, and IU definitely has a grean coach. So, and they'll keep on winning and winning and winning at this point, as long as they have Coach Cignetti. So much, didn't mean to get off on a tangent on IU and Coach Cignetti there, but just trying to point out the facts of their program. But basically, I'm going to talk about team rankings, player rankings, matchups week to week. Maybe try to talk about because when college football really gets going, when the season opens, there'll be a slew of different daily stories. From now until then, you maybe get one, two, a few different stories. I'm primarily at this point, this is kind of, scanning ESPN stories, news stories. There is one particular one I'm going to talk about here in just a little bit. But the goal is to strictly talk about college football. On this podcast, I'm just really going to try to keep learning more and more knowledge of college football, the ins and outs. I love all sports, die hard on a lot of sports, from the NBA to NFL to baseball, and then college. Obviously, college football is one of my favorites. There is nothing like on a Saturday afternoon in the fall time, October, Halloween's approaching. It's about, maybe 55 to 70 range on the temperature, maybe. Possibly sweatshirt wearing on college football. And, you're in the afternoon, you're sitting there, and college football, they open it up on the TV. You can, about any game you want to pick, it's of your liking. There's just, the atmosphere in college football, the fans, the players, you name it, the whole 9 yards. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So we're going to heavily be focused on college football. Maybe, I can build this podcast and maybe I can get feedback on others, and maybe we can have debates on who should be in the top 10 on a week to week, or who's your number one, your favorite, or matchups, what's your predictions type thing. So this could really go, it's kind of sky is the limit. So, but I'm just kind of doing this just for the love of the sport. And that's first and foremost, the love of the sport. But some other things here we would like to touch on would be with time permitting. What I'd like you to do too, if you come across this, just try to hit the subscribe button, and that's kind of how I can build it. I just with fans out there of all walks of life. So so I'm looking forward to that. But then also too have a really big show today. Got a special announcement here in just a bit, here toward the end of the podcast. By the time you guys see this, I should maybe say most. I shouldn't assume anything, but I would say some would know, has already heard of this story. This story was released a couple of days ago. I'm going to say early Friday afternoon, I believe. But I find it very, very interesting. So we'll announce that here at the end of the podcast, or at the end of the show. And you know what? I'm kind of old school. Today's times is the podcast. I'm going to refer to this as the show, the college football show. You came here to try to get some more knowledge. And hey, I'm here hopefully I get feedback, because I'm trying to learn more and more and more. I feel like I know a lot, but like for me on the rules side of things, like pretty good. But I probably need to dig down more, and especially when the season approaches. If controversial calls come up, I mean, we're gonna, we can dig into that and talk about that as well too. So it just kind of ebb and flow week to week basis here. So one of the things, I guess the first thing to maybe get it going here would be today in the day stories. One thing I came across, this is from ESPN. Looks like this was released today at 12:30. Now again, I didn't even know this, but it's kind of why I'm scanning this. So Missouri has a running back who I guess his name is Ahmad Hardy. The headline is Missouri's Ahmad Hardy healed from gunshot wound. And again, this source is coming from, ESPN. Missouri's Ahmad Hardy healed from gunshot wound. Status still to be determined. Well, if you get into this, I guess Ahmad Hardy, Missouri's running back, who looks like had a good, he's a running back. Says Hardy finished second among all FBS players in rushing last season with 1,649 yards. So 1,649 yards, and he scored 16 touchdowns while helping the Tigers. The Missouri Tigers go 8-5 in the SEC conference. So second, he finished second among all FBS players. Now that's pretty impressive. So it goes on here. It says that the $1 million question is Ahmad going to be ready for the season? Well, it talks about, I guess, kind of go back. What happened to him was he was shot. He was shot in his upper leg on May the 10th. It says Hardy was shot in the upper leg May the 10th while attending an outdoor concert at a biker club in Laurel, Mississippi. His coach, his last name's coach is Drinkwitz, said, I may not be pronouncing that right, so I apologize. Drinkwitz, the Missouri head coach, said Hardy is on the road to recovery and is fully healed, and he is fully healed from a bullet that struck a bone in his leg. Return to play protocol could take between 5. Okay, so the coach, Missouri's coach, Drinkwitz, said that the return to play protocol could take between 5 to 8 weeks. So it happened on May the 10th. So you figure, the season's less than 6 weeks away, or a little less than 7 weeks away. So it says, Drinkwitz said that the return to play protocol could take between 5 to 8 weeks, but there are no guarantees about when Hardy will return and how he will play. Also, the coach says, we still don't know what his recovery will be. Is he the same? Will he be the same Ahmad Hardy that was last year? Drinkwitz said at the SEC Media Days. Again, Drinkwitz says, my anticipation and what I've seen, the way he attacks his rehab, he's going to be a better Ahmad Hardy than what he was before. So it looks like, the coach is saying, Hardy has a newfound perspective with everything that he's been through. Says for Ahmad, there was that moment that he realized he was mortal and that there could be really bad outcomes if you don't make the right decisions consistently. Drinkwitz said, it was an unfortunate incident. When you just go to a concert, so I guess he was attending a concert, you don't anticipate being a victim of a random act of violence, especially from gun violence. Yeah, I don't think none of us would like that. We're at a concert, we don't want to be getting, not a good thing there. But I've been very proud of the way he's approached his recovery. His growth and maturity of understanding that his number one responsibility is to be a father. And then after that, it's to continue to be a great teammate and continue to do the things that he wants to do in order to achieve his dreams. I think has been exactly what coaching is all about. It's about taking young men on a journey from 18 to maturity. When Ahmad scores his first touchdown this year, that's what I'll be thinking about, is that journey from the hospital bed to the end zone. So there you go. So Ahmad Hardy on May the 10th, he was attending a concert in Laurel, Mississippi, and unfortunately he got shot up in his upper leg. And at that point, he he had some thoughts of, oh my, I mean, I'm all of a sudden I'm mortal here. So, but it appears that he's really working hard to get back to where he was, and maybe he'll even be better. Maybe instead of getting 1,649 yards in 2025, maybe in 26 he'll get 2,000 yards. Who knows? Hopefully wishing him the best, wishing Ahmad Hardy the best. Get back, Ahmad, get back quick. It looks like you got your, sky's the limit on your potential and on your status. And hey, maybe, you're doing those kind of rushing yards. Hopefully one day you can maybe make it a big time, making it in the NFL. So wish you back soon, Ahmad Hardy. So let's see. Another thing, let's get. So what I'd like to get to now is, I was saying, what are we going to be talking about? Again, from show to show, it's going to be, different things. But I thought I would not get too deep at this point, but talk about one of the preseason ranked teams that is ranked 10th ESPN preseason rankings. They are that would be the LSU Tigers. So I pulled them up. So they're highly ranked to start the season off. They open up their first game at home against the. I got to take that back. I'm not sure if it's at home or not. I would have to check on that. So they are. But I do know they're opening it up with Clemson. Clemson Tigers. So I guess you could sit here and talk about Clemson versus LSU. Just maybe started off with the coaches. You have for LSU a new coach, Lane Kiffin, who before this season was at Ole Miss. He's been several different coaches. I believe this will be his third SEC school. He coached for Tennessee, coached for Ole Miss. I believe he's the only coach in history who will have coached now 3 different SEC teams. That's pretty impressive. He led Ole Miss to the college football rankings last year. Had them in the top 12. They just really they did them. They had a great season. So I guess where I'm going with this on the coaches. So you've got not only LSU versus Clemson, but you've got Lane Kiffin against Dabo Swinney. Mr. Dabo used to dominate. Now every time I feel like when I see a headline story about Dabo, he's just kind of disgruntled. He's just disgruntled because of the new system, the NIL. I just feel like at this point he hasn't adapted. Again, we'll use Coach Cincinnati. Coach Cincinnati of IU has obviously adapted to the NIL. And am I saying everything's beautiful in the NIL? No, it's kind of like a wild, wild. Some would say it's kind of like a wild, wild west right now. But what the rules are as of today is what the rules are forever for everyone. So. It's a cutthroat business. You can have a bowl game, having a great year, but on the same day, there's, been last year bowl games when the portal opened up, you had players already possibly transferring and before they were even before their season. It was in the rumor, hey, he's maybe going somewhere else. So, that's kind of a little interesting there. But again, it's what the rules are. So obviously Lane Kiffin, he knows what the rules are, and he's been performing pretty amazing. But where Dabo has been really just, I feel like past few years he's been kind of struggling to really get him back. So maybe this year it'll be more of Dabo's liking. However, though, we're going to really kind of focus on Lane Kiffin and LSU Tigers. Again, some would say that if Lane Kiffin, not only does he have to get him in the 12 college football rankings, it's kind of he's got to at least get him in the playoffs. If he doesn't, it's do or die. It's playoffs or bust. So I would say there's heavily big time pressure on Lane Kiffin to to win, to win, to win. Now, can he win? Does he have the players to do it? Well, again, if you look at his players, I was going down through a list of his top 10 different ranked players. And if you go through his top 10 different ranked players, I got to think they've got to be a heavily picked to get in the college football playoffs. Starting with their top ranked player, Sam Leavitt, their quarterback. He is a transfer. He is expected to lead the offense on one of the nation's top portal. He was one of the nation's top portal additions. If we go down here and look at, I was looking at Leavitt's rankings. It says, like here, for example, number 2 behind Leavitt on the team, they got an offensive tackle. His name's Jordan Seaton. He's an elite left tackle and arguably LSU's best NFL prospect, rated at LSU's highest player in EA Sports College Football, 27. So, Jordan Seaton, comparing to his offensive tackle position, some has ranked him in top 5 overall at the offensive position, which that's pretty amazing. Now, overall, a rough preseason top 15 overall could look something like this. Out of the top 15 overall players, he's ranked 5th. So they have an amazing offensive tackle. So we've got an amazing offensive tackle. Looks like they've got they've got a dynamic. So you've got a dynamic quarterback. They've got a dynamic running back, expected to be the centerpiece of the rushing attack, which is his name is Harlem Berry. Then they've got a tight end by the name of Trey Des Green, one of the nation's top tight ends and a major receiving threat. Another, they got an elite edge rusher, basically expected to anchor LSU's pass rush. Prince Will Umanmiele, Umanmiele. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. I apologize. A veteran linebacker and leader of the defense, Whit Weeks. A projected number 1 receiver with big playability, Jace Brown. A veteran transfer expected to strengthen the secondary, a safety, Ty Benenfield. A defensive tackle, Stephen Green, and a defensive end, Jordan Ross, defensive tackle. So most preseason projections place LSU inside the national top 10. So there you go. Part of the reason why they're in the top 10 is because they got some boys who can, basically not boys, but men who can flat out play. But again, it's early. It's preseason. Will they, by October, when the playoff rankings come out in October, the real legitimate, will they be in the top 12 at that point? I don't know. We'll see. Their previous coach was Brian Kelly. He had a lot of talent, but unfortunately, I got him fired because he couldn't bring it home. He could not bring it home in the playoffs. So, very interesting to see how Sam Leavitt, the transfer quarterback, will be. Gosh, you've got an amazing offensive tackle. You've got talent. You've got tight end. You got a receiver. You got a running back. You would think that I would look for them to be able to put up 40 points, 35, 40, 45 points on average every week. They should be hitting the 40. With this kind of talent that they've got, they should be hitting the 40-point average mark every week. It's a little bit more numbers here. 4 players ranked in the national top 5 at their positions. 1 player ranked number 1 nationally at his position. 6 players in the national top 8. All 10 among the top 20 at their positions. Harlem Berry, running back, top 10 at his position. Trey Green, Tresday Green, the tight end, top 15 at his position. Sam Levitt, here it says quarterback, top 20, 25 at his position there. Man, I think with what I'm reading about him, I think he's going to be better, kind of better ranked there than that. So, but that's kind of what you're looking at LSU. I mean, I think, oh, here we go. So the consensus top 5 college quarterbacks entering the 2026 season. Number 1 is Dante Moore, the Oregon Ducks. Number 2 is Arch Manning. I don't know. I mean, I'm big, love the Mannings, but at this point, I don't know. He's just going to have to see if he can really bring it this year. Maybe he will with another year under his belt. We'll see. Saying number 2 ranked. Number 3 is Ohio State's quarterback. I feel like Julian Sand, with what I saw, I think he's probably above Arch at this point, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Time will tell. Number 4, Darian Missah, Miami Hurricanes. And number 5, LSU Tigers, Sam Levitt. Can Sam Levitt do? Could he do what Joe Burrow did? Bring home the championship? Remember that year, Joe Burrow? My goodness. And Joe Burrow, look at him. Went on to the NFL. And, when Joe Burrow still plays, he's amazing. He just cannot stay healthy at this point. So to be determined on him. But great college quarterback. So again, some more rankings, some like overall offense. Top, let's see. Here's the ranking nation's best overall programs entering the 2026 season. It's got a list here of the top 5. Texas, number 1, Oregon, LSU, number 3, Ohio State, and Georgia. Now, this is just rankings, not so much the preseason rankings. This is just rankings by offense, defense, coaching. LSU overall is getting ranked 3. They're getting an A+ in offense. They're getting an A in defense. And coaching, getting an A+. Again, what did I say earlier in the podcast or the show? You got to have a good coach. I mean, you almost got to have a great coach. I mean, and number 4 is Ohio State. I mean, Day. Day. He's an amazing coach. I mean, all he does is just win. But LSU getting an A+ in offense, an A in defense, and an A+ in coaching. So be on the lookout. I mean, the preseason ranked 10th. So I don't know. That might be a little low, some would say. I don't know. But again, this offense is built. This offense is built to score 40+ points per game. If like any other team, if it stays healthy. If it doesn't stay healthy, then, if quarterback goes down or running back, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Hey, okay, they may be 5-0 right now, say halfway through the season. Let's say they're 6-7-0, and then the quarterback goes down. Who's the backup quarterback? Well, all of a sudden, we're going to know the backup quarterback at that point, and then we'll talk about the backup quarterback. Is he going to be able to take the baton and keep winning? To be determined. So that's kind of sums it up about LSU. So, I mean, as you can see, they've got, they've got some defense, but on the offensive side, like I said, they're getting ranked an A+. So by my numbers, there's not much better. Not a whole lot that much better than an A+. I guess you could say an A++ is if there's such a thing. So, but A+ should pretty much equals 100%. So those of you that are out there counting. So no, that I wanted to talk about LSU and some of their players. But so I'm going to wrap it up. Shows will be. this is going to be somewhat of a shorter show, I feel like, just because we're starting to get into the college football season. I mean, it's July the 20th. So again, it's still a little less than 6 weeks away. So, but I would like to talk about, so Friday afternoon on the Pat McAfee show, he had a guy on there by the name of Monsoon Sales, a highly top recruited receiver who played for Lawrence North. He's an Indiana guy. Some of the top teams out there was like Texas, Ohio State, that was heavily trying to get him. And so he announced who he was going to go to. One of the universities was in the running, was a team called Indiana Hoosiers. And you got to keep in mind, Coach Cignetti last year, I think, with what I had heard, didn't have a lot of five-star players on his team last year. The best, when the college players coming out of college football, they rank them from, 1 to 5 star ranking. So 5 is the top, 5-star. Well, this Monsoon Sales is a 5-star receiver. So at this point, Cignetti really hadn't landed a whole, 5-star. So, so the question was, will Monsoon Sales, will he go outside Indiana? So, so he announces on Pat McAfee show where he's going to go. So he has a jacket on. So he unzips the jacket, and you're thinking, okay, when he unzips the jacket, he's going to say, oh, here's where I'm going. Well, he unzips the jacket. Oh, it's a white shirt. There's nothing on it. Now, he didn't do this. What he did was, when he did that, but then he reached down and he got a hat. Now, I don't have a hat, but when he reached down, he got a hat. He put it on. So I don't have a hat of this team, but what I do have is, so just give me just a second here. What I do have is, this will kind of sum it up where he's going to. So like I said, had it kind of down to, IU. I feel like, maybe with him being in the state, but I mean, in the past, it doesn't matter. I mean, we've had Indiana players in the state and has not gone to IU, but no means. They're usually going to a great receiver, going to big time, the Texas of the world, the Ohio States of the world. But he reached down, got his hat, he put his hat on, and where he's going to be taking his services to is going to be a team called, you got it right there, the Indiana Hoosiers. Coach Cignetti just keeps making surprise after surprise after surprise. And if you don't believe it, here is a article. This is the Indianapolis Star, and this is what Monsoon Sales, there he is right there, when he was playing for Lawrence North. At the bottom here it says, Sales sold on IU. 5-star receiver, can't wait to be part. Look at that right there. They underline that word, underline those 2 words right there. A winning culture. A 5-star receiver can't wait to be part of a winning culture. This guy could have went anywhere in the country. He could have went anywhere. Going to be an A1. I mean, time will tell. Will Monsoon Sales, will he be? Will he turn into be a dynamic receiver? I mean, people are saying he's going to be. I mean, but it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing doing it in college football. But going to a winning culture. If you go back 3 years, no way IU's getting that guy. No way. They could have recruited him 24/7. They're not getting him because of their tradition with such a losing program before Cignetti. Cignetti in his first season, he only lost 2 games. Last year, he loses 0 games in 2 seasons. He's lost 2 games. So that's now Cignetti is recruiting 5-star players. I mean, if he's going to have a higher talent in his coaching ability, I don't know. You signed a Cignetti to a long-term contract last year. I think it was, 8-9 year deal. So buckle up. We're going to hear Indiana winning a lot. He has become the new coach, Nick Saban. And Nick Saban had to get out of the game, I feel like, because I don't think he was handling the NIL structure either. But Coach Cignetti is handling the NIL very, very well. So give a salute to Coach Cignetti for getting Monsoon Sales. I think I'm going to leave it at that. And I look forward to having many more shows with you. And again, please subscribe to the channel. And other than that, have a great rest of the Monday. And I'll be talking to you soon. Have a good one.